And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for another episode of Shitfic Showcase. And here we are at the final world. I don't like to discuss this part, and it still bothers me very much, but it's something I have to do so that I can put this behind me. People deserve to know. They gotta get the truth.
Yeah,
about NES Godzilla.
Totally. It's very fucking critical, man.
Yeah. At this point, I was well aware of the game's unnatural nature. The nature being unnatural and all. Fucking idiot. But Zenith was different than the other worlds. While the others were certainly strange and sometimes frightening, the world of Zenith was like a nightmare. And I didn't have to go any further than the board screen for an indication that something was wrong with Zenith.
Oh, someone phone the CIA.
Oh.
Get the FBI in on this.
Oh, shit.
The UN must know.
Better swat Godzilla. The first thing I noticed was the blood-red texture of the board and the music, which was an eerie whistling tune. Also, look at that. That's the word kill over and over again.
Oh, great.
Fucking dipshit. I noticed I had Solomon and Angry Ass back, and I felt better for a second. Then I scrolled over to the right to see who my enemies would be this time.
Oh no!
There's some, like, canned salmon that's been taken out of the can.
It's like a nightmare.
Yeah.
And,
two-head guy and big ear dragon unicorn.
No!
This time it was Destroyer. And
Destroyer!
and Ghidorah.
Ghidorah!
But judging from the icon, it was a different Ghidorah than the original, standing on the ground instead of flying. The grotesquely detailed pinkish-red icon also caught my eye. I couldn't tell what it was supposed to be, and I was afraid to find out. Going back to my side of the board, I decided there wasn't much choice but to do my usual routine, and going to the quiz level before doing anything else.
Here we go again.
I was not ready for what happened.
Get the fuck out of here!
Seriously, no one cares about these fucking quiz levels but you. Get out and get to the fucking point already.
Get out of town!
I jumped back when this appeared, accompanied by a terribly distorted version of the password theme. It looked as if Face had fallen victim to some terrible glitch. Is this what he meant by "Will you miss me"? Did he know this would happen?
Did he know it?
Get out!
I got a little graffiti.
Plankton.
Yeah, it was like fucking graffiti. Oh, there now.
Yeah. East Side for life!
I do like his Gene Simmons tongue.
Yeah. Really? I thought that was like a giant fruit roll-up.
Yeah. Well, they roll out with next.
My
in this fucking creepypasta.
My thoughts were stopped short as I noticed the screen was glitching and seemingly falling apart while I was inactive, and so I quickly rushed out. Like the little bitch-made puss I am. And when I got back to the board, I had somehow gained a new monster. I guess it's this handsome fella right here.
Oh, yes, backwards head monster.
Yes. Terrifying, terrifying. I hadn't even been asked if I wanted one. I tried to select it, and this happened.
Nah.
No. No. No.
Are you sure?
Plus no equals no. All roads lead to no, no, no.
I tried to pick it, but it was like, no. Are you sure? Yes.
What the hell is going on? The game's behavior was scaring me, and I hadn't even started the levels yet. I couldn't understand why I was randomly given a new character and then denied use of it. But for the time being, there was little that could be done. Except, not play the game anymore. But fuck that. No way. In it for the end. In it to win it.
This is the only game I rented for the weekend.
And I viewed the last TV screen. Oh, great. That I remember that scene from the Terminator.
I remember when they first invented chocolates.
No animation, no music. Dead. Every instinct I had was telling me to stop playing, to just turn the game off. And something in the game itself might have been trying to warn me as to just how horrible this last world was. But then every stretch of the way, I was compelled to give up. I couldn't do that now on the last world. Besides, after taunting me with memories of Melissa, I felt the game owed me some answers.
Yeah, you're gonna fucking pin it against the wall.
And interrogate it, yeah. At gunpoint. I noticed that the first level was a red temple. So at least I would be familiar with the level graphics, if nothing else. And I went in with Godzilla, the monster I was most familiar with. Oh, it's Scream Jail, but darker. Godzilla had been shrunk. The level and score meters had vanished, and the blue temple statue faces were back. The music was similar to the blue temple also. Strange, haunting vocalizations. I tried to get my spirits up by thinking, well, if this level is like the blue temple, then that might mean there are no enemies to deal with. How wrong I was.
Oh no, the horror!
After a short
You thought
walk,
it would be like the other one, but it wasn't.
It was differenter!
It was more differenter.
After a short walk, all the statue's eyes started glowing, and a pack of the beasts from Shadow Labyrinth came charging into me. Since they were coming from the right of the screen, I had to fight my way through them. I could barely see this shit.
Yeah, that's better. Oh, Godzilla, let us pinch those little cheeky wakies.
This battle greatly tested my reflexes, but thanks to my speed, I plowed through the beasts. They gave off health power-ups after dying. Health power-ups of evil.
Yes.
Which helped recover the damage they had given me. However, as I continued through the hallway, the statue's eyes glowed again, summoning another wave. It seemed to be the same number of them, but I was less prepared this time and took more damage. I had gone through 4 of these waves until I reached the end of the hall, where I heat beamed the last of the monsters over the edge into an abyss. Goodbye. At first, it seemed like I had reached a dead end, but after the statue's eyes stopped glowing, a brick path slowly appeared before me.
Follow the yellow brick road.
Godzilla. You imagine that shit, Godzilla in Wizard of Oz? Follow the yellow brick road, smash, kill every fucking...
Yeah, fucking Dorothy.
Yeah.
The lion, the scarecrow, the Tin Man, and fucking Godzilla.
Just smashes and kills the entire Lollipop Guild in one step. I followed the path, which kept me moving towards the right until it stopped at a wall, where I was to go vertically by jumping the ledges. Along the way, I encountered new creatures, and some sort of strange shrine. Wow, say that 5 times really fast. Some sort of strange shrine. Some sort of strange shrine.
And I snorted some sort of strange slime.
Which had a statue of the Hell Beast and some other creature I don't recognize.
Spider-Man.
Spider Gimps. I'm a raptor with no arms or face, and I'm supposed to be dangerous, I guess.
Yeah. Better watch out for my feet claws.
Oh, look, there's our friend right there.
Oh, yeah.
Statue of him. I'd worship that.
Yep.
As I went through, the path took a downward direction. I had to carefully aim my jumps to avoid the enemies, which were plentiful in this part of the stage. They didn't have many attacks, but they could easily shove you over the edge off a platform. I got ahead of the game, if you know what I mean.
Ho ho.
And also,
Godzilla.
At the end of this tunnel, there were a few small platforms floating above nothingness. I landed on one towards the left of the screen, and then something came down from above. It looked like the Blue Angel from the graveyard, except now it was red and had a skull face.
You know, I think I'm starting to realize, I mean, not that I hadn't picked this up before, but why video game movies are usually shit.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, for one, because if they tried to stick to the source material, and, like, you're gonna make a story out of every little fucking thing you do in a video game, So I landed on platforms, and then there were these enemies, and I pressed the buttons if I can get through, but it took off their life bars, and that. Well,
it's not as interesting to read about somebody playing a video game.
Great story. It's a great plot.
Than it is just to watch someone play the fucking video game. Like,
yeah.
This might have worked if instead of a story, instead of a text story,
like a video?
It was a video. Exactly. It was like Ben Drowned, you know?
Yeah.
That fucking creepypasta. Like, if there was still text describing what happened, there was still prose, but you could just choose to watch the video and see for yourself what the fuck was going on.
That would have taken effort, though.
Yeah. Just throw together some sprite art and write some shit that would be passed over in a mediocre creative writing class. Any of the pleasant feelings I had from the Blue Angel were not present with this red one, and as it hovered around, its eye sockets started glowing just like the statues, summoning monsters to attack me. Surely this was not the same benevolent being I encountered before. This must be some kind of impostor. Thanks for playing our game!
I like how every time he shows enemies, it's just the same copy and paste sprite.
Yeah.
They're always in the same fucking pose.
Yeah, basically. The battle was nerve-wracking, as I started off with nearly half my health and had to deal with multiple opponents, as well as the threat of gravity. To make things even worse, as the Red Angel took damage, some of the panels fell, until only 3 remained. But my luck had not ran out yet. Just when I thought it was over, I struck the Red Angel one more time, and it turned out that one last hit was all it could take. Oh, damn, now it sounds disintegrated. Now it's got no legs. How are you gonna float with no legs? Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Just as the Red Angel completely disintegrated, the game instantly went back to the Zenith board. I moved Mothra over to the nearest stage from the Red Temple, which seemed to be a garbled mess of letters spelling kill, and began playing. Which seemed be a garbled mess of letters spelling hail. Spelling Kyle. That's great. It's a level made entirely up of that. That's
really?
your big scare?
Really?
You fucking idiot.
Okay, over there it looks like it just says riff.
I know, yeah. Like, where the fuck did the F come from?
I like riffs, man.
Maybe I'll put some sweet riffs over this video. As suspected, all the level graphics were made of jumbled letters, and Mothra, just like Godzilla, was shrunk to half size. I began to suspect that all the Zenith levels would be like this. The background music was terrible. Like if someone put all the sounds that NES was capable of making into a blender and then piecing them back together into a song. I had to turn the volume down because of it.
This is Crazy Bus.
Yeah. Just picture the Crazy Bus theme, everybody. Like, feel that in your head for a while.
Yeah. It's not really a song that you hear or
you
listen
feel it.
to. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an experience.
Yes.
Not a song. And also, hey, more copy-paste monsters and a dinosaur. When the fuck is this gonna be over?
Soon, I hope.
Playing as Mothra made avoiding the enemies easier, but they were nonetheless determined to get at me. The first enemies I saw were headless Gigans, and later on there were hybrids monsters pieced together squigs, gars, isams, dicks. Pieced together from previous bosses like the Biolante-headed thing seen above. 5 minutes had gone by as I didn't see anything new, and the level shifted into another segment. The music changed from the loud and annoying beeps into something far more ambient and menacing. The level graphics also changed, now looking like a blood-drenched junkyard. The way everything in this level was red made it sickening to look at. Sickening.
It's like a Virtual Boy game.
Yeah, it really is. It's fucking unappealing to the eyes. It's stupid.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
what's in that picture.
Are some like fucking like I don't know, caterpillars with wings. I don't know.
Fucking flying octopuses.
I don't know. I have no idea. The enemies multiplied in number, never ceasing to follow after me, and became harder and harder to avoid. And at the end of the level, the situation reached a climax as the swarms of monsters fused together in one enormous, terrifying
It's gonna
hybrid.
be great. I had fun with copy and paste.
I am Cactus Dog! Away!
With 2 legs.
Once I had gotten through the initial shock, I discovered the way to destroy this thing, constantly shooting eye beams at the Hedorah cluster that formed its quote-unquote heads. If you attacked anywhere else, it would regenerate the damage. Is that supposed to be it rearing up?
I guess.
Even with that knowledge, this was an extremely difficult fight. I'd say it was as hard as fighting the Moon Beast was, if not harder. Its most common attack was lunging forward with its arms, covered with Gigan saws and blades. If they touched, it would instantly drain health. When it was over, the remaining monsters collapsed into a heap. Then they, and the ground below them, started to disintegrate and sink towards the bottom of the screen. Yeah, that's a bunch of melty red shit.
Yep.
Looks like a fucking tomato split sundae.
What is this nightmarish recipe?
When I came back to the board, I thought to myself, so far the game has been putting the easiest levels first. If that's the case, how bad will the rest of Zenith be? With 2 levels down and 3 to go, my monsters and I had taken our foothold in the world of nightmares that was Zenith. Deciding what action to take next was more tense than difficult than ever before. But ultimately, I had no way of knowing what the next levels would be like, or how well my monsters would be prepared for them, so my only option was to guess. No shit, we know all this. We know you've never played this game before, you dickhead. Seriously, you waste a whole fucking paragraph to tell us that? Was your writing teacher fucking... who the fuck taught you how to write like this? I tried to interpret what the icons of the next levels ahead of me were. The last level before the boss battles was obviously representing some type of volcanic area with lava and open flames. You just compared this game to Mario. I hope you realize that.
I sincerely apologize.
The middle icon I still didn't get, except that it looked quote-unquote fleshy and vaguely like an organ of some kind. Oddly oversized as well. Oh my, I'm getting a little red in the face here.
Oh boy.
My face is becoming as red as the levels.
Oh, fleshy
and oversized organ.
Oh, it's a gallbladder, isn't it?
You know what they say about men with large gallbladders? They get large gallstones. The one I was nearest to and about to enter next looked like thorny vines covering a puddle of blood.
My favorite band.
I guess this would be a level with blood rivers that outflow into a blood ocean. How many drops of blood are there in this blood ocean?
Outflows into a blood Cuomo.
Like the chase level of Dementio. As such, I went with Angry Ass, because due to his rolling move, he would have the fastest speed while submerged. The level, which I call Blood Lake, looked like I expected. Rivers of blood accompanied by thorn-covered vines, which were scattered along the sides of the ground. The music was rather faint, but I could hear a distinct drum beat and a few other instruments, a lot of echoes, and sometimes it sounded like someone hitting a drum underwater. They didn't try very hard with this music, did they?
They did. I'm surprised someone in the soundtrack wasn't just chanting the word blood.
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 Blood. Dark. Bleak. Blood.
Blood.
I was disappointed to see that Angry Ass was shrunk just as Godzilla and Mothra had been. Apparently all the Zenith levels would be like this. I felt less secure with my giant monsters no longer so giant. They've gone flaccid.
No.
I walked along without interruption for only a minute until my path reached a dead end. I walked a lonely road of blood. Is that an eye, a nose, and like half of a mouth right here? That's what that looks like to me.
Yeah.
It looks like a face, like a dumbass face.
Yeah. Is that Pinocchio? No, that's Pinocchio.
Kyo. That's no Kyo. There was a massive gap between the ground I was walking on and the ground to the right of the screen. I would have swam across it and continued walking to the right, but due to the huge mass of brambles in the way, there was nowhere to go. Two creatures with gliding membranes on their arms and lamprey-like mouths were perched on outstretched vines and screeching at me, much like a crow does to an invader of its territory. What is this, fucking National Geographic now? Another unnerving display of possible sentience by the creatures of this game. If it's even accurate to refer to them as being of the game, that is. You know, I just realized, that made me think. This creepypasta might be a lot more interesting if instead of trying to be scary, the author did approach it from like a clinical sort of fucking point of view. Like, here's this weird ROM hack I found. I'm just gonna like analyze it and the fucking reasons behind it. Like, why did they make it like this? That would have been interesting compared to it trying
Here goes
to be...
my girlfriend!
Yeah.